Demand for flights to Australia set to soar as the country prepares to reopen borders after 1.5 years. Now, Qantas says some flights in December are already sold out. The first phase of reopening will focus on citizens and permanent residents. Further changes to permit students and tourists to enter the country are expected in the months ahead.
It's time to give Australians their lives back.
A step towards normality 18 months after slamming the border shut. An estimated 30,000 Australians have been stranded overseas, others with families split across continents.
We have already got the technology and the other things in place that will support those states being able, under Phase C of the plan, to enable their residents and citizens to leave the country and return, and also those residents and Australians who are overseas to return to Australia as if they are vaccinated, with uncapped restrictions on their arrival in those states which have moved into that phase.
The Prime Minister says this can happen within weeks, depending on when states reach their 80% vaccination targets. Vaccinated residents will be allowed to serve their 7-day quarantine at home. The list of recognized inoculations will also be expanded to include Sinovac and Covishield, largely used in China and India. A 2-week hotel quarantine will still be imposed for those not vaccinated. It's a long-awaited respite for some. More than 100,000 requests to enter or leave the country have been denied the first 5 months of this year alone. Qantas has said it will restart flights to London and Los Angeles on November 14. But opinion polls show Australians are split on the tough border measures. Even as the borders reopen, experts have warned of travel hesitancy due to fears of snap lockdowns and other disruptions.
Well, let's get more for you from Danielle Robertson joining us live. Danielle, a long-awaited, much-awaited announcement. How are Australians and the airlines reacting?
Yeah, it is a long time coming. After 18 months shut off, Australia is finally reopening to the world and airlines are getting ready to get back into the air. Now, Qantas has already announced that they have flight sales and their first destinations are going to be London and Los Angeles. Other airlines are also preparing, but some of them are cautiously excited. While they do want to return to international travel, there is still a lot of planning that needs to be done. For many, this is a homecoming that couldn't come soon enough. From November, Australians who are in states that have high vaccination rates will be able to travel overseas and many will be returning home. But there are a lot of logistics that still need to take place. For example, airlines may only allow vaccinated passengers on their flights, and in that case, they may need a vaccination passport, which is yet to be developed. They also have to work through staffing issues, crews, pilots, rosters, and they may have to ask some staff back that they initially were told to stand down or who were made redundant. There also won't be an immediate return to pre-COVID flight levels. There will be a beginning of just a small number of flights. And of course, it will depend on the states as well. Every state and territory is running their own race and they have their own strict rules, some stricter than others. That does mean that some people may have access to more flights to London than they will domestically to, say, Brisbane or Perth. So that all needs to be worked through. But overall, the race is now on to get jabs into arms and for planes to get into the air.
And then also noteworthy is if you're a tourist, you may have to wait that little bit longer.
Yeah, that's right. There's about 30 to 40,000 Australians that have been stranded overseas trying to get home, and they are the priority for this plan. The other focus is also those Australians who are here and who are in the states with the high vaccination rates, for them to be granted the freedoms that they have been promised to travel overseas. Of course, Australia is known around the world to have some of the strictest border rules, and, you know, it's kept families apart and many have missed major life milestones. And the Prime Minister says this plan is to allow Australians Australians to get their life back, and that is the priority. But there are signs that foreign tourists may be allowed sometime soon. Today, the Therapeutic Goods Administration did say that they will allow people who have received a vaccine that have been manufactured in China or India by those pharmaceutical companies. They will now be allowed in Australia. Previously, they only allowed vaccines including Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. So that really does break down the barrier for many countries that are a key market for Australia, particularly when it comes to international students as well. Now, while foreigners can't come here just yet, it is a sign that we are slowly lifting that veil of having strict border rules, and it will allow families to reunite and thousands to return home.
And Danielle Robertson is in Sydney. Thank you.